Hello and welcome to Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012/2005/2024. And as we get through this video, I'm going to show y'all how to set up the mod. It's actually really simple, and I'll also have everything that I'm using in the video linked in the description box down below. So if you have any interest at all in checking out any of these mods, you honestly only need two things, and those are a PC as well as a PC copy of Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. So let's get started with how you install this mod, and then we're going to go through the process of driving from the main map out to the Most Wanted map. Also, if you would like to use this Mustang Dark Horse mod, there'll be a link for that in the description down below as well. So as far as getting to the new map from the default map goes, really you have a few different options. Now, what it says online, I actually found that to be a little bit confusing because there are multiple different points on the highway where you can teleport to the car that it tells you to teleport to online. So instead of going by that, which could kind of be a little confusing, what we're going to do is we're just going to drive there, and I'll show you exactly where you need to go in order to access the map. So just follow along from this downtown gas station. The jump point I started from was the Mustang Boss 302 downtown jump point. And just to be clear, you can use any car for this, although that downtown Boss 302 jump point will just put you on a really easy route for how to get there, because you just have to get on the highway and head east. So, and if you're wondering which direction that is relative to the game, that's going to be starting at the gas station and heading to the right, or at least heading to the right based on looking directly ahead and not changing the camera from where the Mustang spawns. Now, another thing that I think is worth talking about here is the installation. If you're not used to installing Most Wanted 2012 mods, it can be a little bit confusing as to where to put the files once you've downloaded them. So obviously online it says they go in the quote-unquote Hawaii folder. However, the Hawaii folder isn't necessarily, they don't give you a file path. So if you're not familiar with installing mods like this, it can be a little bit difficult to find. So the file path you're looking for is Program Files, EA Games, Need for Speed Most Wanted, and then find the Hawaii folder. And then once you have the Hawaii folder, you just drop the files in and then replace the ones it wants you to replace, and then you go from there. Now, once you get up here, this is where you're going to access the new map, and if you see the Rockport Turnpike sign, you'll know that you installed the mod correctly. And from there, it's literally as easy as just heading up that Rockport Turnpike, and eventually you'll get into a tunnel, and then after the tunnel will open up to the gateway to Rockport itself, which prepare for a massive nostalgia hit, because I know I got hit by one for sure, and I'm sure you will too. Now, since the sun is going down, I decided to drive my way out there and then wait until the sun came back up to show y'all around the map any more than the introductory bridge, because this game doesn't necessarily look all that good at night. It just doesn't necessarily, I don't know, the visual style of this game, in my opinion, never really lent itself all that well to nighttime gameplay. Although, I mean, it still looks wonderful, don't get me wrong. Although, stick around if you want to see the new map in the daytime, because I promise you, it looks so much better. And while there are graphics mods and texture mods for this game that can definitely sharpen it up and give it a bit of a remastered look, I decided to approach this from the standpoint of someone that has maybe never modded Most Wanted 2012 before, and give you a little bit of that introductory look as to what this mod will look like if you install it without any other mods, like any other graphics mods, any other texture mods, because the more mods you have to install, the more that can kind of, I don't know, the more it can slow down the process of getting the mod installed. And if you just want to get this mod installed and get it playable, really all you have to do is install the map, and then everything else is personal preference. And And then once you're out on the map, you can just let the nostalgia absolutely like storm back to you. I think I probably got a bigger nostalgia hit from playing this mod than I even did from recently going back and playing, or rather replaying, a bunch of the introductory levels from Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010. And I think that's probably because this mod, it combines two different games that I spent hours upon hours upon hours in while I was growing up. And, well, obviously, Most Wanted 05, I was a lot younger than when I played Most Wanted 2012, but I won't say exactly how old I was then, but it was a long time ago. Although, maybe not as long as it feels like. I guess it all depends on how you look at what is and isn't a long time, but I'm getting very off topic here. Let's go back to the map itself. Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting about driving around this map within a totally different game is that you can definitely see where this map was not, because it is a faithful recreation of the original, it's not intended for these physics, and there's definitely points where you're on this map where you can really feel that. And that's not to say that the physics for this game are bad, but that's more to say, or rather more to highlight the fact that a handling model that is intended for one type of map might feel a little odd on a totally different map style that was intended for a totally different physics model. And whether you love or hate the physics model from Most Wanted 2012, it's honestly pretty fun here. And outside of the nostalgia of being able to drive around this map and seeing a lot of these little landmarks, like this period correct Shell gas station, the physics model isn't too far out of place. I actually thought it was going to feel a lot worse on this map than it actually did. So it was better than I had anticipated it would be, but at the same time, I didn't necessarily have the highest of expectations going into the combination of the Most Wanted 05 map with Most Wanted 2012 physics. But honestly, my main takeaway from playing this map now is that if you're okay with the Most Wanted 2012 physics system, you're going to be okay with this. But if you hate the Most Wanted 2012 physics, you're probably not going to like this very much. So definitely base your expectations off of how you feel already about the Most Wanted 2012 physics, because they're obviously unchanged here, and there are some areas of the map where they don't necessarily suit the layout of the map all that well, but a lot of the time you don't necessarily notice. It's just when you get little mini jumps or ultra tight corners that come right after a jump that upsets the car in a way that kind of robs you of almost all of your speed, which is definitely not how Most Wanted 2012 plays on the original map. So those are just little things to keep in mind on your way into this, just so you have a fairly decent idea of what to expect. Now, you could also go into this completely blind and have a totally different experience than I did, and it's all entirely subjective. It's all down to the amount of weight you place on your own enjoyment of a mod like this. So I don't know, it's really all up to you. It's really truly all up to you how your own experience turns out. And now let's get into my own thoughts and experiences of how I actually felt driving around this map, because this is the part where I get to actually gush about it, and it makes me really happy because, I don't know, it was just like, it was such a nostalgia trip, and being able to revisit this game and this map later on in life, it's so cool. And I actually found myself getting lost in it, that it was like to the point where as I was filming this, I actually had other stuff that I had to get done, like outside of filming this video or these videos for y'all. I had other stuff that I had to get done on the day that I filmed this, and I literally just found myself, I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, I've been sitting here like free roaming around this map, just exploring, and I was supposed to get this and this and this and this done like 25 minutes ago. So if that's any indication at all on whether or not I was enjoying the map, I think I'll let that speak for itself. But if y'all enjoyed this video and enjoyed this look at, honestly, the incredible stuff that the Most Wanted 2012 modding community has been putting out, let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this in those comments down below. And remember that if you want to check out the mods I used here, those links as well will be in the description. But that's going to do it for this one. I'll see y'all next time. And before I finish, just a little bonus for y'all. I'm going to leave you with this. A donut around the middle of the stadium, and then a successful jump off of one of the original Most Wanted 05 jumps back onto the highway. That's where we're going to end this off.